With me today, I have Nevin Grigsby. He is the president of Farmer State Bank in Pittsfield, Illinois. Is that right?
That's
Illinois.
right, Illinois.
I know you're right in the borders there. I'm never sure completely. And Nevin's been doing a great job of creating some breakthroughs in his bank, and we're going to hear a little bit about that. And right in the middle, in the heart of a difficult farming recession, the bank is doing very well, and so that's always a good thing to make sure that you're creating the kind of systems that make you recession proof. So can we start off, Nevin, by having you just describe a little bit about the bank, what you're up to, what kind of things you're excited about? So tell us a little bit about Farmer State Bank.
So, well, some of the biggest successes that we've had over the past several years, we just keep getting better and better every year, actually. And whether it's fine tuning the sales process, making sure that we're coordinating the sales process with our top 100, top 1,000 mailings, and including knowing who to focus on, knowing to make sure that we're focusing on our top 100, top 1,000, in particular our top 100, and then knowing what they look like, smell like, feel like, and then going after people that look like them or companies that look like them. So, that's where we've been focusing on and where we've had great success. We just tend to get a little bit better every year, fine tuning our people, learn as we go. We have hired better people every year. We tend to be more efficient with the people that we have. The zero risk has helped us with that a lot, I think, and utilize that as well as just to make sure that we're fine tuning, like I said, all the time. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of where we've been focusing on, and we just get a little bit better and better every year. Hope that answers your question.
It absolutely does. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you've had happen. So recently, I know you just got a big deal, and that was very exciting for a smaller bank in the middle of the Midwest to pull in a multi-million-dollar deal. Tell me a little bit about what that felt like, how you made that happen, what worked that made that all work for you.
So yeah, we landed a $10 million loan, which is the biggest that we've ever had. And it was a long sales process. And knowing that it was going to be a long sales process helped. The biggest, I don't want to announce this too much, but the biggest success, I think, is not only getting the loan, landing the new business, was that we were able to capture a floating rate in a rising rate environment. So that was just as big a deal as getting the $10 million loan. And so since then, interest rates have gone up 100 basis points or so. So, or the only floating, it's the only floating rate that company has. So somehow we were able to negotiate that, and that was, just making sure that we stuck through the sales process and held tight, and it worked. So that was really fun.
That is no small feat to take bring in a loan that's 5% of your current asset size and accomplish the premium pricing and on your terms. Too many banks are like they're doing their deals, but they're on the customer's terms only, which makes the bank vulnerable, and you can't take care of your customers when you don't continue to exist anymore. So getting your pricing is a very important piece. What did that do for the confidence of your team when they knew that they could do that?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a great breakthrough, and the funny thing is that happens a lot. We have little breakthroughs, and sometimes. So the answer to the question is it helped a lot, and we have a tendency at times to be sucked into the rate and sometimes give in. And so what we learned is that once we say no, that's it, and then if we help each other. So if I'm the lead loan officer, for example. And there's much more tendency for me to give in because I've spent half my life trying to reel this loan in, and I don't want to lose it. So to team up, and I remember that we worked as a team on that one, and it was really helpful to have somebody that didn't have as much emotion into the deal, and was able to say no, this is where we're going to stop, and they happened to bite on that one. So hopefully, that helps. It helps confidence, and it helped us in other deals as well because we know there's going to be more out there.
Hmm.
But it's all about we know that we've got to have loans in the pipeline, and if we don't have loans in the pipeline, if we don't have a lot of prospects out there, we're going to be more vulnerable to wanting to go low on rate or meet the customer's demand for a low interest rate on the loan side.
I think that's a brilliant observation. And I always say, I know exactly how to make a bad loan in a bank. It's called don't have anything else in the pipeline.
Right.
So whenever the
Good.
system of the top 100 mailings aren't going out and the sales process isn't followed, then the funnel gets skinny. And then it's like, yeah, we need to do something here. So I think they have collateral. So those are always those famous words before you make a bad loan. And so we all know how to make those, but we get it's all about discipline. It's like, do you get up early in the morning and go for your run, get your exercise in? And because if you do that, you're going to be really much healthier and much more fit, and if you don't, you're not. And so it's the same kind of disciplines of, can we get everyone in the bank as aligned to the system of sales as they are to how they balance a drawer at the end of the day. I always say, if banks spend as much time figuring out their sales system and as much time auditing that system as they, if they did that for sales, what they do for balancing the doors, they just imagine the revenue capture and the safety improvements in the bank as well. So, congratulations on an epic breakthrough. So you've also done a great job of moving up the needle on cross sales, and cross sales is such an important measure because it basically says our customers trust us and they come to us first and they count on us for being their banker, not just one of many banks. Tell me a little bit about the journey of moving that number up and keeping it up.
I got to be honest, that's probably one of the least areas that of my oversight. So I trust my deposit team to handle that, and they do a great job. They routinely have sales meetings. They routinely are reviewing that. We're routinely focusing on making sure that when we do have somebody open it, whether it's a brand new customer, new account, that we're finding out where their other money is, and we're not stopping just when they open the account. So we're also tracking where their money is and giving them credit for doing that. But just making sure that we're focusing and deepening the relationship with sticky products, with relationship products, and they do a great job at that.
Hmm. So I've seen some changes in your culture as an organization, and I'm also seeing some changes in your executive team about how you lead that organization. Tell us about some of the biggest changes that you've seen in those two areas, and what you think is important in having a great culture and a high performing executive team.
Well, we've focused a lot on accountability and holding our each other accountable. We've really focused on our employee culture survey. We've done an outstanding job at making sure that we're meeting with our employees constantly throughout the year, and to make sure that they can give feedback and that they're open to giving feedback. Um, we've done a great job we actually held it started with our exec team, and then it's filtered down throughout the organization, the Crucial Conversations book. And that's really helped a lot of people personally and professionally and throughout the organization. And that's been a big part, I think, of our success. But we really focused on those culture surveys and driving those numbers up, and have been very successful. And our efficiency is better, and we're operating with um, one of our um, sorry, what do you call it? Keywords on the strategic plan is do more with less. I think we've since critiqued it a little bit, but we've done just that. We set out to do that, and we've done that, and that shows up in our culture scores, and it shows up in our productivity based on the amount of assets under management per employee. And we're just quite frankly doing more with less, which is great because then we have higher paid people, and that's been my goal all along, is to have a lot of great quality people that are making a good living. So that's been our big successes.
Excellent. So what else haven't we talked about that you're excited about in terms of needles that are moving or concepts that are institutionalized that are making the bank better? What else are you feeling great about that you've accomplished?
A lot of things. I think I've maybe have touched on some of them, but just, I mean, for me, the sales process is key, and just us, we've just gotten a little bit better, and people, we have turnover, and turnover is not good, and it's hard, but sometimes it's works out, and just getting the right people that are thirsty and hungry and want to learn and want to be developed, and so we've just hired the right people, and we focus on hiring the right people. And then when that happens, and then with all the other things that we're implementing, the accountability measures, the culture survey scores, sales process, the top 100, the processes that we have that we're constantly critiquing and trying to get better. Or not trying, we are getting better, but we do fall off the train a little bit sometimes, but we always know how to get back on, and that's really important. So just the people that we have, and I'm just excited about where we've been and where we're going. And so the question was, I think, what else am I excited about? Just all of those things, and we're just getting a little bit better with the tools that we have every year, every month.
Well, and I think that is a really important point because you're going to fall off the rails occasionally. That's called being a human. And so having good systems that get you back on the rails quickly, and so that you're not like, oh, we failed. Okay, we're losers. Now, let's give up and hang our heads low and have our pity party, as opposed to going, okay, so we had a setback and that happened. Okay, so what are we going to do to have higher highs and higher lows? So we're going to have a little bit of a low for a while, but off we go with the next piece. So I think that is a very mature approach to culture, because it's a reality that cultures don't go straight up. They have some offsets occasionally. Okay, so before you started this journey, Nevin, you probably had a couple things that crossed your mind in terms of, do we really want to be doing this? Is this really the right thing? What were you struggling with there, and what did you do about that? Because clearly this was a big decision to embark on a cultural transformation that would create more accountability and tie people more to profit, and have it be really creating a place that people love to be. What did you have to struggle down that you were concerned, as you as an individual or your executive team, where you probably had a lot of the yeah buts that got in the way?
That's a good question, and I'll answer it. I can remember when we were contemplating the decision, or I remember when you said that you don't let everybody on board, and so I was pretty excited when everybody agreed to it, because everybody, I think, around the table at the time was a little bit scared that we might have to be accountable now.
Mm.
So one of the biggest things was just getting everybody to say yes so that we could continue. One of the things um, that I knew that we needed, this is quite a while ago, were processes, and I spoke into some of those processes earlier. And I knew that we didn't have consistency, and some of the things that I saw that you had, I knew that we needed, and that we needed to bring consistency for each department, and in addition at each level of all of our locations. And so we were almost operating as if each location was their own operation.
Mm.
And we really desperately needed systems, and we've come a long way, come to think of it. So it's just fine tuning that, continue to fine tune those. But to answer your question, um, it was the systems that we desperately needed, and then also the accountability. And it was really hard for, I think, our team at the time to agree to the accountability part, period. But I knew we needed accountability and systems.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've done a great job of putting that in place. Besides the sales system that you've spoken several times about, what's the best system that you put in place that you think made the best impact on your bank, not only just in additional revenue and profitability, but also in better safety for the organization? Because I always say I'm not impressed by banks that go like this and then crash. It's like, are you building a steady machine? So what's of all the things we've been working with you, what's the most important system that you think that has been put into Farmer State Bank?
Just getting everybody working together as a team. And we still are, we work in that every day and we get a little bit better at it every day. And working through the individuals that resist that. And, um, that's been probably one of the biggest things because, you know, there's a lot of cliches out there, the weakest link and all the other cliches, but they're just so true. And if we're not working together as a team,
Mm.
um, we're just not going to get anywhere. So just constantly make, everybody being accountable to our commitments and focusing on the goals that we've set for ourselves and the organization. Um, but just playing together as a team and playing nice in the sandbox um, yeah, and making we all watch the videos and making sure that we're all on the same page and we're all focusing on. We all know what everybody's responsibility is and helping each other out when we need it. And but I gotta say, it's all the little things that bring us all together, and there's a lot of them, as you know. So it's a lot of hard work, and but it pays off, and it gets a little bit better every day, like I say. So we've got a great team here, and like I said, we're just getting. It keeps saying we're just getting a little bit better and better every day, but we are, and so it's exciting.
And that's, sometimes it's not much more sexy than that. It's not like this huge breakthrough. It's the consistency of higher highs, where you're accomplishing better continuity of execution of all of your systems, to protect your safety as an organization, during good times and bad, to make that happen. So, Nevin, one of the things that you've done a great job doing is managing to your culture survey. And as a result of that, you've had an extremely wonderful and consistent breakthrough in your culture survey scores compared to your previous years and also compared to others in the 10-year database of other high-performing community banks. And so tell me what you're doing there to manage to your culture survey scores.
Well, we're meeting regularly with all of our department teams, and and focusing on making sure that people feel that every individual team member feels open to saying what's on their mind. We've removed a lot of passive aggressive thought processes or behaviors by doing that. Again, the crucial conversations, meetings, and book clubs, and has helped a lot. And just but regularly meeting, getting feedback from our employees or teammates, making sure that we're understanding and they're communicating with us so that we understand what it is that they want, or just clear up anything that's in the air that they might be thinking that's untrue. Just giving them the comfort level to tell us what they like to see, and then us being honest with the feedback as well, and making sure that we're direct and saying why we can't do something or why we can do something. If they have recommendations, that's where we take the recommendations and explain why we may be doing that, why we're not doing it. Um, there's just a lot of things that are kept within individuals that create chaos in an organization, and just making sure that we're all on the same page and we're all communicating all the time has really helped those scores.
So what's the culture like compared to what it used to be? So how does it feel differently? How does it look differently? What have you created now?
Mainly, a lot of people not a cutthroat atmosphere. Take all the politics out of it, making sure that people are looking out for each other and not on their own trying to one up somebody else. You don't get that at larger organization. My wife works for a company that with 20,000 employees, and she talks a lot about the politics. And
Mhm.
somebody gets a promotion or does something or whatever based on the politics of the company. And it tends to be a little bit cutthroat in the larger companies, which is a great advantage of a small company, and we can all. But the accountability part that has really holding each other accountable and having open line of dialogue and communication all the time has really, I think, helped our culture scores and employee satisfaction overall.
Mhm. You've done an excellent job. Every time I see your people, they're just so happy to be working for Farmer State Bank. What a great accomplishment that is, huh?
Yep.
So, what would you say to someone who is facing the same challenges that you were facing when you got started, um, um, uh, to about how they can break through those challenges?
Well, there's difficult choices and they're uncomfortable. And when you do what you know is right, um, it's rewarding.
Mm.
And every day you have to make difficult choices and decisions. And but ultimately, just doing knowing you're doing the right thing and sticking with your gut. Um, Ultimately, it's rewarding in the end. And so that's for me. Looking back in the beginning, just making sure that you're trusting your judgment and your gut, and knowing that things are uncomfortable and will always be uncomfortable. And that's just the way life is, I guess. And taking it head on is much better off than allowing bad things to happen or not trusting your gut and making hard decisions and choices.
Mm, got it. Well, congratulations. You've had quite a few amazing accomplishments, and your culture is nothing short of lovely at this point. I see your people and how much they enjoy working with you and on your team, and how committed they are to your customers. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch. You've created quite a miracle. And to be sitting in the shape that you're sitting in the middle of an ag recession is nothing short of remarkable. And that's because the fine work that you and your team has done. So congratulations.
Good. Thank you.